Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today I want to talk to you about how I re-stick my mats for my electronic cutting machines. Now I have two machines. I have the Cricut Explorer, the Air version, and then I also have a Brother Scan and Cut, and they both use these kind of cutting mats like this. I'm using the Cricut to show you today only because my Brother Scan and Cut just got restuck, so I didn't want to do that one again. So there are several different ways to re-stick your mat. I'm going to show you the one that I found to be my favorite, the easiest, the cleanest, and the quickest. But first I want to talk to you about spray positional adhesives, okay? So this is a repositionable spray adhesive. However, I do not use this. So I want to say that before we get started, and I'll tell you why. I do not like to use spray adhesive. It goes everywhere, it's messy, and I don't like it. I actually bought this for a project. I used it one time and I've never used it again because I do not enjoy it. However, if for some reason this is the only thing you can find, or if you're just more comfortable doing the spray adhesive, let me give you some tips. You're gonna wanna tape off your mat. So this is just some blue painter's tape that I've got, and if you're going to use a spray, you have to make sure you tape your mat off in some certain spots, and I'll show you. I've zoomed in so you can see this. Your adhesive on your mat only goes so far. It does not cross over the little number lines here. Now your other mats may be a little bit different, but you want to make sure you tape off anything that does not have adhesive on it, because when you spray this stickiness, it will go everywhere, okay? And also, if you get any of the overspray on this area, or especially on the sides of your mat, then your rollers in your machine will get gunked up from any of that extra adhesive. So you need to tape all the way around before you use a spray adhesive. Now again, I don't like a spray adhesive for any project. I never use it. It's just not my favorite because I don't like the spray. But some people do, so I just want to tell you that in case you use it. This is the one I like to use. This is the close to my heart version of the Zig two-way jumbo glue. I don't have the Zig two-way jumbo glue. I've had this one forever and I use it over and over again, but it's the very same version. As a matter of fact, if you read the back, you can see that it's exactly the same as the Zig. But if you were looking for some of this, I'm going to link the Zig two-way below and at least put a picture so you can see what it looks like. And I know they carry it at Hobby Lobby. I've seen it there. I've seen it at Michael's, and it's online in lots of different places. Now this is the jumbo size. You see it's pretty big around, and they have the same thing. It's in a blue container. Now I bought this ages ago from Close to My Heart. Matter of fact, I got this when I used to sell Close to My Heart. That's how long I've had it. And I have used it. This has been what I've used to re-stick my mats forever. Now, some tips for re-sticking your mat. Very important, okay? You need to wash these guys first, all right? If you don't wash them, those little pieces of paper that you can't even see will get glued down. And then when you go to use this in your machine, your blade is going to get little catches on those little marks that are kind of bubbling up on your mat. So here's how I wash my mats, okay? I take them to my sink, my kitchen sink, and I use a mild, very mild, just like a hand soap, and I just do this little motion on my mats, barely touching with the hand soap, okay? I also don't use hot water. Now these are all my personal preferences. I don't use hot or warm. I use cold water because when this adhesive gets warmed up, it tends to get soft and it can get pulled off. I don't want to pull off this adhesive. I want it to stay there, and then I just want to make it firmer by adding this one. Now, if by chance you have already made the mistake of cleaning all the adhesive off your mat, no worries. You can use this on it just like I'm going to show you in a minute, and it'll fix it right back up. But I have actually gone in and cleaned my mat. When I finished, I'm like, wait, there's no sticky left. It's totally gone. And that's what had happened. I ended up wiping or cleaning off all of the sticky, okay? Now, if you want to clean off all the sticky and you want to start with a fresh mat, feel free to do that. I've done it before. It works just fine. And I've even used like a Mr. Clean pad and cleaned all of the old adhesive off and then just used this to re-stick my mat. Totally up to you. Now, some folks use wet wipes. Let me show you. You don't have to re-stick your mat every time you clean it, okay? Once you've cleaned it and you let it air dry, the stickiness comes back. Like if you use the hand soap with the cold water, rinse it thoroughly, let it dry standing up, like stand it up in your dish drainer, let it dry completely. The sticky will kind of rejuvenate itself, and that's super cool. And I do that as many times as I can until I have to re-stick it, okay? I do not do this as soon as it loses its stickiness. First, I will go in and I will try to clean it and bring the sticky back. And you can probably do that, gosh, 4 or 5 times before you ever need to re-stick them. In between washing them, you can take baby wipes and just kind of hit the surface, and any place where you have some like little pieces of paper, like you may not even be able to see them, but there'll be little pieces of paper that need to be cleaned off. And if you do that and then let it air dry, you'll be surprised how much of the stickiness will come back. So I'm just going to clean this guy off. Like, I don't remember the last time I bought a new mat on purpose. I did buy some Cricut mystery boxes and some mats came in it, but instead of buying new mats, I buy this, which I haven't bought that in forever either. Do you see what has come off my mat that I did not see? Not granted, I did see some, but there's even glitter on there. And you know how I feel about glitter. When the heck did I use glitter, right? So that's what gets stuck in our blade and causes our paper to sometimes peel up in a cutting process and not cut smooth. We don't think anything's down there, but when we start cleaning, we can really see what's on that mat. Now, I'm not scrubbing. It might seem like it, but I'm not using any pressure. Look at that. That's from a clean part of the wet wipe where I moved it over, and I'm still picking up. Let's do it again. Now, I'm going to let this completely air dry, okay, because air dry will bring back the sticky. It's very interesting how that happens. I cannot believe how much I'm picking up off of this mat, to be honest with you. Okay, and look, that's the third pass. I'm okay with that. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let this one air dry, and then I'll show you how much stickier it is. Now, if you remember earlier, I was laying my hand on here, and this mat would not pick up. If you remember that, that did happen. I just baby wiped it. You saw me do that. I've let it air dry, and now watch. It picks up. It's not like oh, now it's suctioned down by air. It's not super duper sticky, but it's much stickier than it was when I first started because I wasn't able to do this. The air is suctioning it down too, but that in itself will make your mat so much stickier. So before you get frustrated and you just want to throw them out and buy a new one, try the baby wipe and then try the soft cleanser, like a hand soap with cold water. Let it air dry. You'll be great. Now, if it's still not sticky enough, that's where this guy comes in. Let me show you what I do with this. So this little guy, you shake it up, okay, and it has this little nib. Actually, this is a big nib. They usually have a small nib, but the jumbo has the big one. And you have to kind of prime it and get that adhesive coming down. Now, this one I've already primed before, but when I let them sit in between using them, I have to kind of get that adhesive flowing again. See how it's on there? And I get that adhesive flowing again onto that nib. And this is the only place I use this adhesive, so it never gets used until it's time to restick a mat. And here's how I do it. The reason I like the jumbo, I can take this and I can lay it straight up onto my mat, and I go from 0 to 6 and I stop. So I've run one strip across. It'll be hard for you to see. Let me see if I can get a glare on there. But I did one nib width from 0 to 6. Then I'm going to go underneath, slightly overlap, and do it again, using the grid to help me keep up with where I've been. So I've just done that entire 1-inch strip. Now I'm going to move down and do the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and just keep going all the way down. Just trying to overlap each time, and I do it in 6-inch sections. So I'm at 5 and 6. Now I know I have restuck this entire 6-inch section right here. Now I'm just going to rotate it, start in this corner, and do the same thing. And you might need to re-prime your little nib. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You can tell by how well it's flowing. So the next 6-inch section. And if you overlap, it's not a big deal, as long as you're getting the adhesive everywhere. Again, very important to not get it in this clear section because that's where the rollers and things need to move. So you just want to get it where the other adhesive was. Then I'll go across this side. And I'm just going to repeat this process all the way around my mat until I have it all restuck. Now, don't click out on me yet because there's some more important things I need to tell you about this process. So hang around for a second and I'll tell you the next step. Okay, so I've covered the whole mat now, going in 6-inch quadrants, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this adhesive is called a two-way glue because if you put it on a project and you let it dry before you put a piece on it, in other words, if I take this right here where I've got the adhesive and I let this totally air dry, when I come back, it will be sticky to the touch and it will stay sticky to the touch. If I were to take this and close it up on top of itself or add another piece on top and it dry, then it's a permanent bond, okay? So it's a temporary or a permanent bond. Never, when you finish doing this, put anything directly down. You have to let this air dry. That way you get that nice temporary bond. If you were to wet your mat with this and then stick an item straight down to it, then you are gluing the item to the mat, and you don't want to do that. You want to let it air dry, and then you can come in and put things on and it'll be just like your mat. Now, it is much stickier than you imagine, okay? So my other suggestion is this. Once this dries, and this is not dry, this corner may be close to dry, but once this dries, you want to take your hand and pick up some of the sticky. It's not dry yet, but you can hear it. So you want to pick up some of the sticky. If it's too sticky, then it might ruin your project, right? So you want to pick up some of that sticky before you use it, and you'll have a nice, lightly sticky mat, which is exactly what you're looking for your projects. You don't want your objects to be glued to the mat. You just want them to hold in place. I hope that answers your questions. This is one of my most asked questions, how to re-stick a mat. And I don't know why I've waited to do a video so long. I wanted to let you guys know about it. So this is kind of another bonus this week. Lots of bonus videos this week, but I hope that will help you. Any questions that you have, you can leave them below. And also, people have other ways of doing their mats. This is just the way I like it. There are lots of other ways that people use in different glues and stuff. So if you have a special way you love, leave it in the comments below. Share your knowledge with everybody else. We love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching me, guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.